Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to This Week in CanucksLand. No Canucks games this week, but the Four Nations is on, and Team Canada had 2 games. We're going to cover those. We're going to go over how the Canucks players are doing in the Four Nations, and we're going to go over what Canada needs to do in their last game against Finland, what they need to improve, hopefully what players can come back, because Cale Makar missing in that game against USA. Definitely a big thing, but there was also other factors of why we lost to Team USA. It wasn't just missing Cale Makar. But yeah, before we get into it, make sure to check out the link in the description. Also, the QR code right here. Put the jerseys up last time. Here's Team Canada, Team USA, Team Sweden, Team Finland, right here. The jerseys are awesome. The Four Nations is on now. If you love your country's gear, make sure to grab some using my affiliate link in the description. And yet again, right there, I'll put it again. QR code right there. You can grab your merch. I don't have it yet. I need to grab a jersey. Team Canada's are so nice. So nice. I got the old one. I got Crosby. I got a Team Canada hat. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into This Week in CanucksLand. I don't know. This is way better than an all-star game ever could have been. The Four Nations, the best tournament I've seen in a while, definitely since the World Cup in 2016. Best on best hockey is just the best hockey. It's in the name. The first game we played Sweden. We ended up winning 4-3 in overtime thanks to Mitch Marner. Sidney Crosby got 3 assists on the night. He opened with one on the power play, assisting Nathan MacKinnon. He got a second one with Mark Stone. I think it was late in the second period. And then he got the third assist on the goal from Mitch Marner in overtime. It was definitely a great start. We came in so hot in that game, and the power play really showed that. With Nylander high stick Nathan MacKinnon, and we got to the power play. We ended it quick. Makar, McDavid, Crosby, McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, boom. It was over just like that. It was awesome. Definitely one of the best power plays I've ever seen, especially with that unit. I mean, Reinhart, McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, Makar, that's like 5 of the best players in the world right now. And to watch them work their magic was just awesome. But yeah, the first period was great. The first 20 for Canada was amazing. We did let our foot off the gas, I think, for the next 2 periods, and I think against USA it was kind of the similar thing. We came out very hot the first 2 periods, but we were still hot. I feel like we had our chances in both games, but it was slower. I feel like the team's probably caught up to our play, even though Crosby was able to get one in the second, and we were able to finish off the sweep in overtime. USA, definitely, they were cutting out the middle of the ice. After that McDavid goal, I know I'm jumping ahead, but after that McDavid goal, they really cut out the middle of the ice. But back to Sweden, yeah. The game against Sweden was awesome. It was so refreshing to have hockey that great again. It was amazing. And I definitely believe that the Olympics is going to get way better. The World Cup, adding more teams to this is going to make it awesome. Adding Czechia, Slovakia, USA, Finland. That was amazing too. I watched that game. As much as it blew open in the third, and it was still great hockey. And then Sweden versus Finland was great. And then Canada versus USA, the big game, the big round-robin game. Hopefully we get that in the finals. I haven't seen a game that good since 2010. And I barely remember 2010. All I really remember is the golden goal. But, yeah, that game was amazing. The first period was great. I mean, Canada getting a power play early, not even being able to score. Seeing how the U.S. handled that power play, and then McDavid just getting that pass from Downey, flying in. And the first time I could watch McDavid do that and not be sad because he scored on the Canucks. He scores for Team Canada. He puts it back in right over Hellebuck's shoulders. Awesome. You know what? I completely forgot about the first 9 seconds of the game with 3 fights. Ooh, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds is one of the greatest openings to a game I've ever seen. I mean, if I think about it this way, though, you're the Kachuk brothers. You scored both 4 goals combined, 2 each in the first game. You guys are going to take yourselves out first 5 minutes for fighting. Jake Gensel was the next goal. Jake Gensel getting a pass on a 2-on-2 from Jack Eichel and putting a 5-hole. Kind of a weak goal let in by Binnington. I'm one to usually not blame the goalies. I try to not blame the goalies because they have a tough job as is, and players, usually the player's the one making the mistakes, and it opens up the room, and then the goalie just gets beat. But I feel like Bennington could have had it, but at the same time, a goalie's job is hard enough as is. I don't want to give Bennington too much hate criticism. I mean, I think he played a great game, regardless of that goal. The second one that they let in, Dylan Larkin on a 2-on-1. It's hard. I feel like I think it was a left-handed defender, I'm pretty sure, so he couldn't get the stick across to take Larkin as well as trying to get it. It was the bad change. I can't even blame the defender defending that play. It was a bad change. I don't know if it was miscommunication at the bench. I don't know if it was just the players messing up, but it was a horrible change and led to a 2-on-1, and that's why we're down in that game. But yeah, we definitely slowed down. It's not really we slowed down. I feel like USA just kind of played really good defensively. They were stacking the box. They were really in tight in the middle of the ice and just wouldn't allow Canada to get in there. Nathan McKinnon definitely had a tough game. Connor McDavid had a tougher game, even with after his first goal. They really were like McAvoy making his game tougher with like 4 hits on him. And McDavid finally able to get a reverse hit on someone, but yeah, no, Canada just kind of got shut down, and we definitely need to change our tempo through the games. We're coming in hot. The way we come in the first period, that's the thing we don't change. What Canada needs to fix is pushing, and Kevin Bieksa brought this up. Chemistry for McDavid. We've tried. We're switching the lines up. Cooper was switching the lines up and putting Crosby with McDavid instead of McKinnon, trying to find that guy and taking him off the line with Marner and Reinhart. They had him in the first game and the start of this game. The next guy they should put in is Brad Marchand. Without I think he played less than 10 minutes, and every time he was on the ice, I noticed him being one of Brad Marchand's biggest haters because he was on that 2011 team with the Bruins. But yeah, it was. Every time I noticed him on the ice, he was definitely one of the best players for Team Canada, the most noticeable player for Team Canada. But yeah, we ended up losing 3-1. Jake Gutzel got the empty netter. Yeah, it was a tough one to watch. I was definitely a little upset, but now that I'm calm, cool, collected, Canada just needs to fix the tempo. They gotta stay hot. They come in hot, they gotta stay hot. And they just gotta find ways to open the middle of the ice when the teams are definitely playing more defensively stacked towards the middle. They gotta find the ways to open the ice, to move the goaltender. And I feel like they need to shoot a little more. There were some times where they're making that last pass that the play would end on, where you got a guy coming in and you could be set up in the slot and he's looking and looking. I know I don't see what the players see. Maybe they don't see a shoot lane, but they gotta get pucks on net. I feel like, especially in this tournament, I know it's skilled players. They'll look for the good shots. You gotta get pucks on goal. Just throwing a puck on net. That's all you're coming in. Let's say you're Anthony Cirelli. You're coming in on the boards, and all you got is a backhand. Just put it on goal. Even if it's weak, you put it on goal. Things can happen when you put pucks on net. And making that extra pass, although maybe it could set up the play, it seemed like in the USA game it just wasn't finishing the play. It wasn't that pass for a 1-2. It wasn't that pass to an open player who could get the shot off. It felt like Canada was definitely making the extra play, and it was hurting their momentum when they would fly into the zone and they could get a quick shot and get traffic in front. But they were trying to make that extra pass and trying to get that. I don't want to call it fancy because it's passing. Passing's a part of the game. It's just you make passes to move the goalie and to score goals. But it's just you gotta know when to shoot. And I feel like Team Canada was definitely not taking shots when they should have been taking shots. But that's enough for the games. Now I think we should move on to how the Vancouver Canucks are doing. We have 2 players in this tournament. We would have had 4, but Miller was traded. Quinn Hughes is hurt. He decided to take the tournament off for the playoffs. Great. And I think we found that out right after I recorded last week's video, so I wasn't able to put that in. Elias Pettersson, I think he has 0 points. I did notice him in the game against Canada. It wasn't anything too fancy or him scoring a goal, him getting a point, but it definitely looked like the Elias Pettersson we see on the ice with Vancouver. It didn't look like much has changed. I was hoping that he would open up offensively, especially with the players he's playing with. But then at the same time, you think about it, he's going to open up offensively with the players he's playing with in Sweden. He goes back to Vancouver, he's not going to be playing with that caliber of player. It's just been more of the same old solid defense, good hits, and a flash of offense, and good zone positioning in the offensive zone. But that flash of like making a move, making a really nice pass, and or maybe getting a shot off. I'm not sure if he's gotten much shots off. I haven't looked at the stats, but I think Elias Pettersson definitely still has ways to go when it comes to his play offensively. Defensively, I think he's been one of the best defensive players Vancouver's had all year. He's a really good two-way guy. He just needs to figure out how to put pucks in the net, and it's just that's the only problem. Kevin Lankinen, though, he didn't play the first game against the USA where they lost 6-1, but he did play the game where they won 4-3 in overtime, which, hell yeah. I mean, going from a under $1 million signing late in the offseason, closer to the early part of the year, as a backup goalie who could maybe get overshadowed by Silovs, to going 10 straight road wins in a row, making Finland's Four Nations team, and picking up their first win against their arch rival in Sweden. What a year Kevin Lankinen has had. He might have outpriced himself out of Vancouver. Like, now that I think of it, I don't know if we'd be able to afford it, because the year he's had has just been that good. Maybe it's because he's in Vancouver. Maybe Vancouver's the best environment for him. Maybe he wants to stay. Maybe he'd take a bit of a cut. But at the same time, if he's found this play, he's got to cash in. Especially now. He's a free agent. If I'm Kevin Lankinen, I'm cashing in on that play. I thought he looked great in the game against Sweden. I mean, letting in 3 goals against the top players. Are you going to be like mad that he let in 3 goals against Sweden's best players they have in the world? No. And he got the win. He shut him down in overtime. Kempe had that close chance. And Lankinen, I'm sure Lankinen probably was like, 1, I don't know how that was that close, and 2, I don't know how that that didn't go in. And they went right down and scored. Kevin Lankinen got the win. I think the Canucks are doing great. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other 2 videos. I'm going to have one right here. I'm going to have one right here. Subscribe right there. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next week in CanucksLand. We'll cover Canada's hopefully last 2 games. And I'm pretty sure the Canucks have a game on Saturday. Could be wrong. It's either going to be 2 Canada games and a Canucks game, or just 2 Canada games. But yeah, without further ado, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week in CanucksLand.